Engage in Focused Thinking, part 2 of the series of John Maxwell's book, How Successful People Think. Engage in Focused Thinking actually helps you remove clutter from all your ideas, remove distractions, and as Charles Dickinson says, he did each thing as if he did nothing else. Which means when you do something, you need to make it your number one priority. Nothing else matters in this world. You don't do anything else with your life aside from this one singular thing. You need to focus on it, improve it, make sure you're not distracted by anything else. And as Jonh C. Maxwell says, word for word, focused thinking harnesses the energy towards desired goals. The more you focus on this goal, the more attainable it seems. The more you know about it, the more you work toward it, the better it gets. And as Trump says, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So let's say you have an idea, but it's not clear, it's not developed. Jonh C. Maxwell says, focused thinking actually helps you develop those ideas, give you time for your ideas to develop. He says to take a good idea and make it into a great idea, you need to shift your attention from expansive thinking, as in like all over the place, thinking of whatever, whenever, to selective thinking. Think of what's best for your idea. Think of the outcomes of the things that you do towards your idea. Is it going to be beneficial towards my idea? And in part 1, we basically said, measure every step you take in consideration for your big idea. View the big picture. See if this small thing resigns with your big picture idea. If this small step that you're going to take is going to inevitably lead you to this big idea, the big picture thinking. Jonh C. Maxwell says, as someone who studied successful people for 40 years, he could tell you that good ideas have a chance to develop into great ideas if given time. He mentions Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, all these big ideas, all these big major companies started up as simple idea. And throughout time, they were given the chance to grow, to evolve, to reach people, to improve people's lives. So that's what you need to do. Give your thoughts time to grow. Give your ideas a place and a time to grow. And obviously some ideas are just not meant to be. So even if you give them years, months, days to grow, they will inevitably not be a good idea. To start with a good idea, you need to see whether your idea is going to help people, whether your idea is going to bring something into this world while the other ideas haven't. No one achieves greatness by being a generalist. They don't hone in on a skill, focus on it, and then put everything into the development of that skill. At least that's what John Maxwell says. Now, do I agree with it? Me personally, I feel like if you have more than one skill and try your best to develop these skills, you're going to be more beneficial than someone who knows one thing. That's just my opinion on it though. Well, what should you focus your thinking on? Obviously, not every aspect of your life is worth focusing all that attention to. Excluding your whole life just focusing on useless things is not what we're trying to do. So, you're going to need to identify your priorities. Make a list of your priorities. Things you do daily, things that you think are necessary in your life, things that you do better than others. These could be your priorities to think about. And John Maxwell has a way of figuring that out. It's called the 80-20. So what this is focus 80% of your attention to the top 20% of your priorities, the most important 20% of your priorities. Hone in on those priorities to make something come out of them. Well, you gotta identify your skills. You gotta understand your skills. We all got skills, talents that we excel at. We're better than anybody else at. So what you need to do is actually hone in, understand it, develop it, use it to develop something, to make something out of nothing, you need to use those skills that you feel like you're better than everybody else at. This is going to be contradicting to part 1 of this book, but John Maxwell's friend once was mad at himself for not being able to do some small tasks. So he started saying that, oh, I would never be successful, I would never make it in life. But then John Maxwell said, you're thinking way too far ahead. Set immediate goals that you could finish now and achieve in pursuit of your big goal. Now, this might seem kind of conflicting, kind of contradicting to the first part, but if you look at it, he's saying that keep your big idea in mind, but set smaller goals, just like a ladder. Set steps to get to that end goal. So, to sum this whole chapter up, John Maxwell actually just wants to let us know that we all have great talents in ourselves, great skills, that we just need to hone in on, focus on, develop on, use and understand them for the better development of our ideas. We have a lot of ideas, and he wants to make sure that we know which ideas are worth using and focusing all of our attention on. This one singular idea, I'm going to use every single ounce of my being just to make sure that it comes to life, you know. But yeah, John Maxwell is a great person when it comes to understanding who you are. He explains yourself to you more than anybody else. He makes you know who you are. So, alright guys, wait for part 3 and make sure you comment, subscribe, and like.